Today I have a video for you on breastfeeding tips and tricks. Of a baby boy. He was actually born last November, so almost a year old now, and it's been quite the journey with my breastfeeding journey. It's just been quite an experience, and I definitely think that along the way I have learned a few things that I would definitely like to share. So today I'm giving you my top 10 tips and tricks when it comes to breastfeeding. Number 1. It is so important to read all of the material that your doctor, your hospital, and everywhere you go that they give you on breastfeeding. Most of what you need to know is there, and that was definitely something that I missed out on doing at the very beginning. But one of the things that helped us out a lot was actually sticking to a 2-hour timeline. So feeding the baby every 2 hours was really important, especially during those first, I would say, like 2-3 weeks. I know it's going to drive you a bit crazy, but sticking to that 2-hour mark was definitely for us essential, because at the very beginning they're very sleepy, so it's very easy to just, they're sleeping, they're not going to wake up for the feed. But it's very important that they do wake up for that feed, because that 2-hour stretch is enough for them to go ahead and get some more nutrition in and be able to get more of that weight in. So that's my very first tip. Just make sure that you're sticking to that 2-hour time limit. Don't go above that, and then afterwards you're able to just be a little bit more flexible. 2.5 hours, 3 hours even, but 2 hours is definitely what you're aiming for. All the literature that I've read says that you should stick to 12 feedings a day at the beginning. So if you break it down in 24 hours, you have to do it every 2 hours. But then when you speak to people, they're like, 2 to 3 hours. Well, if you're doing it every 3 hours, then you're not going to meet that 12 feeds a day quota. So if you do not stick to the 2 hours, you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't feed him 12 times today. So very important, stick to the 2-hour mark. Round the clock feeding and no sleeping is definitely a recipe for going insane, but it's necessary. And think about it, it's only a limited amount of time, so you definitely want to make sure that you're giving it your all from the very beginning. Tip number 2, change the diaper right before each feeding. So along with the 12 feeds a day quota that they give, they also say you should have wet and dirty diaper, the certain amount of wet and dirty diapers that you should have a day. So at the beginning it's going to seem absolutely ridiculous or super exaggerated to change 12 diapers a day, but believe me, it does help to actually keep track if he is getting enough breast milk, if he or she is getting enough breast milk, if they are actually eating enough, by the signs of a wet diaper or a dirty diaper. It was so helpful for me to just say, every time I'm going to feed him, 5 minutes before, I change his diaper. And that served dual purpose. Number 1, I kept track of if he was actually wetting a diaper, dirtying a diaper. And number 2, it also helped in getting him nice and awake and alert for that feed, because you do want him to, or him or her, to be able to feed fully once they get on your breast. And when they are that little, they're very sleepy, and when you put them along, against your chest, they get really comfortable and they fall right back to sleep. So it's very important that they are alert, that they are awake, and that they're ready for that feed. Tip number 3, and I thought this was definitely something that I discovered like Christopher Columbus. I mean, maybe it did exist before and a lot of moms know this, but nobody told me about it, so I'm taking credit. So you always hear, of course, drink a lot of water. What worked for me was that as soon as I put the baby on my breast and he was initially latching on and beginning to suck, I would go ahead and drink water at the same exact time. So as soon as he was getting on and latching and beginning to suck, and I would grab my water bottle and start drinking. And I would drink even if I wasn't thirsty, maybe 4, 5, up to 10 gulps of water, and that would simultaneously, like that simultaneous action of me drinking and him beginning to suck, would trigger a more forceful letdown. Now that I am 10 plus months into it, it definitely is a lot more helpful to know that I can help that triggering by drinking water as I am breastfeeding. And by the way, that also works for me if I am pumping. So when I do start the pumping session, I begin drinking water right away, and that kickstarts the letdown. If I am midway through the session of pumping, I do the same thing. I will drink some water and it will kickstart again that letdown. So I think that tip has really benefited me in many ways. Number one, I've been able to store more milk when I pump. And number two, I've been able to make sure that I'm helping my baby along get more milk out of each session. Tip number 4 is the cross cradle position, which is, I think, a lifesaver. Cross cradle by far I thought was the most comfortable, and it gave me the most amount of control over the situation so that I can make sure to give my baby the most amount of milk during a feeding in a comfortable position. So I would do cross cradle, and then tip number 5 that goes along with that is to make sure to have this free hand available to lean in as you are breastfeeding, lean in, and also massage the breast. So you want to massage the breast from the back towards the nipple so that you're encouraging that milk flow out of your breast and into your baby. So that is a combination of 4. Tip number 4, cross cradle position, worked for me fabulously. I, till this day, I continue to do, a variation of that, because of course now my baby's almost a year old. So he's like, he can position himself pretty much. But it does help to have, when they're that little, to have control of them with the one hand and be able to have a free hand to be able to massage your breast in a way that stimulates the milk flow faster and more effectively. Tip number 6, I wrote down in my notes here, sing and stroke. And for the minute there, I was like, what in the world is sing and stroke? So I mentioned earlier that babies get very, very sleepy, and it's, even if you do change their diaper and they're nice and alert, chances are that 2.5 minutes into the feed, they're going to be sound asleep again. Like I said, your chest is really warm, they are really comfortable, your smell is something that they really crave, especially at that young, really tender stage of newborn. So I recommend that you start singing, and don't worry about you not being the best singer in the world. I did it myself. I'm definitely not the best singer in the world, but I would sing and also stroke him as I was feeding. So I know that there's a lot of moving parts here because you have to do the cross cradle and you have to do the massage and you're leaning in, but definitely something that will help is having them actively sucking. And if they're not awake, they're not going to do that. So making sure that they're nice and awake, stroking their little feet, running your hand through their back, maybe massaging a little bit of the scalp. You have to kind of be careful because a lot of these things they could also really like and enjoy and fall even deeper asleep. So if you're doing something that you're seeing is relaxing them too much, maybe change it to something different that you think is being a little bit more stimulating. So definitely do your very best to find what it is that you do that makes them awake. So for me, if I started singing, if I was talking, for example, he would actually be able to be more awake and alert. So, find what it is that you need to do to get them to be that awake and alert, and do it, because it's definitely very helpful, especially for them to gain weight and for you to produce more milk. Tip number 7 is to track everything. I have an app on my phone, not an app, that helps me track all of these things. So you basically click the button when you're doing your right breast, and then stop it when you finish, and then click it again when you're starting with the left breast, and stop it when you're finished, so that you're able to track everything from the beginning. And I think that's very important because, number one, you're going to forget. Did I mention the lack of sleep already? it's real. Definitely, you're going to go through a period of time that you are not sleeping at all, basically. I mean, you're taking little tiny cat naps, because think about it, by the time you actually wake them up to feed the diaper, to change the diaper, to feed them one side, then the other, then you actually get them to fall asleep, put them back down. If you actually get to fall asleep, it will probably be for half an hour, 45 minutes before you have to start the whole cycle all over again. So forgetfulness is actually also a thing. So make sure that you're tracking it. Some people do it manually where they actually write it down. I actually started that way, and it was such a hassle to keep on track of. So I went the digital route. There's an app. There's always an app for everything. For this particular thing, there's also an app, and I really enjoyed it. Till this day, I track down dirty diapers, wet diapers. I track down the breastfeeding as well. There's also somewhere where you can track the actual meals, which I'm already giving meals, solid meals to my baby since he's already 10 plus months old. There's a bunch of different things that you can track, including their growth. But specifically for breastfeeding, I think it's really important that you do track, especially those first few days when you're trying to make sure that they're getting in as much as you possibly can. Tip number 8 is more awareness on the hind milk. It's definitely worth the wait and worth the kid's weight. So let me explain that a little bit better. At the beginning, when I started breastfeeding, even though supposedly is the most natural thing in the world, I had no idea what in the world I was doing. And when I was consulting with a breastfeeding expert, they told me this whole thing about hind milk and how that is what helps the baby gain weight. I didn't know that that was the case, and I was very curious about it, and I started Googling the whole thing. So apparently you have to wait a little bit longer for the hind milk to come out, and as the name would suggest, the first thing that comes out is the foremilk, and then you get the hind milk. The first milk that comes out is actually a little bit less dense, and the hind milk will actually carry a lot more fat, so it will help the baby gain more weight faster. So, but what do you have to do to get that hind milk out? Well, you need to produce more letdowns, and so that hind milk, can come out. The one thing that I actually did Google that helped me understand this a little bit better was that it's kind of like when you open a faucet and you open the hot water. At the beginning, the water that comes out is still cold, and then it gets warmer until it actually starts coming out really hot. That's not to say that the beginning breast milk, it's not good, and then the end is the best. No, they need all of it, but the hind milk, you want them to get as much as you possibly can in order for them to gain weight. And so what I want you to get out of this tip is that try to keep on feeding them from the one side as much as you can before they switch over to the next one. That will ensure that they're getting as much of that hind milk as possible. Tip number 9 is to start with the opposite breast every time you do a feed. So for example, if right now I'm doing a feed and I'm starting with my right breast, I'm going through all of the right breast and then switching to my left breast. Most of the time they are not on the second breast for the full length that they were on the first breast. So what you want to do is that the second time or the next time you start feeding, you go to that breast. So for example, let's say on the right side I fed for 12 minutes and on the left side I fed for 8 minutes. Next time I'm going to start with the left side, and hopefully that side will get the next time the full 12 minutes. And I'm only giving numbers for illustration purposes. It will definitely vary from kid to kid. I remember when I originally started breastfeeding, my child was on my breast for 45 minutes, that first initial breastfeed. I didn't know that was an exaggeration of time. At the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what side was left or right at that moment. It was all a blur. Tip number 10 is to use your breast milk to kind of shield your nipples after you've breastfed. So I remember at the beginning of my journey with breastfeeding when I was in the hospital and I was breastfeeding my baby continuously and around the clock. Now with any rhyme or rhythm, it was just like, oh, he looks like he's rooting, let me just put him on. My breasts were really, really sore, and that is a whole other video. I could talk about like the troubles that you go through at the very beginning, and I'm talking about the first, for me it was about the first 5 weeks, which I hear is more than the usual. But what helped me out a lot was to actually put my same breast milk on my nipples as soon as I was done breastfeeding. So initially I told the nurses at the hospital, because I had heard that there were nipple balms and things that you could use that will alleviate the pain, the soreness, sometimes even cracking or bleeding, which thankfully I didn't have. But when I asked them that, the nurses said they didn't have any available. You know, they don't give that. And I thought, why not? And when I spoke to the breastfeeding consultant, they told me actually that there's a variety of different things of why they don't recommend that you do that. One is slippage. So if you put something on, the baby might have a really hard time latching on the next time. So it kind of defeats the purpose on trying to have your baby get a good latch so that you're not in pain, and then you're putting something on there that will inhibit their chances of actually getting a good latch. And then what she recommended was get your own breast milk and put it on your nipple every single time you feed, and that will allow it to heal. It's amazing the properties that breast milk has, and it's definitely available to fix that and much more. I hope that you have found this video helpful. I hope that you can count on at least, you know, one or two of these things to help you out along the way. It's definitely worth it. You know, there are so many benefits to being able to feed your baby with your breast milk, and I definitely do encourage it. I also do want to say that if the journey for you is different than mine and it doesn't work out, that's perfectly fine as well. A fed baby is the most important part of being able to have them grow healthy and strong, whether that's breast milk, formula, that's perfectly fine. As long as they're happy, healthy, and loved, that's all that matters. So I do hope that you come back for my next video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, and if you found it helpful and you think somebody else will benefit from it, definitely feel free to go ahead and share with them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.